In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to paint trees with watercolor. I started by wet on wet technique. I laid down my yellows and greens on the wet paper, and then for the tree trunks I focused on the colors that I saw, which were purple and pink, and probably they were not that realistic, but a good first layer to start with for the wet on wet technique. For the yellows, I use warm and cool Hansa yellow as my cool yellow, and Indian yellow as my warm yellow, and pinks and purples were Windsor violet and permanent rose. I added more pigments in the different stages of dampness of my paper to get different effects and textures, and then I use hair dryer to dry this first layer. Now I'm adding my leaves using Russian green, sap green, adding some yellow ochre, cadmium lemon, and using my round brush number 2 to add branches. I switched between my yellows, greens, some blue to add different shades of green to my leaves. And I used dark brown, burnt umber to create branches in between those passages of leaves. This tree trunk is in a silhouette situation, very dark, so I'm adding these dark layers and values by using burnt umber. And here on this tree I am focusing on different dark values using brown, purple, and ultramarine blue. In this part, I'm using 2 brushes in order to add paint and also wash off the edges. So with the smaller size brush, I paint, and with the bigger size brush, I wash off the edges. Adding some dark accents underneath my tree, using green and blue, ultramarine blue. And again, back to my bigger tree, using ultramarine blue and burnt umber. And in some areas, to darken the brown, I added purple. I'm using those dark brown colors to add some more definition to my barks. After drawing the first and second layer, I used dry on dry technique while the brush was damp with some burnt umber and ultramarine blue, and I worked on the middle tree. Now I'm adding more leaves and branches, and then some colors underneath my trunk, some warm colors on my middle trunk to show the sunlight more, and those warm colors are Indian yellow and permanent rose. And then I drew some fine lines using my round brush number 2 in order to create the sense of bark on the front seen tree trunk. Now I'm working on the leaves and adding some more dark accents of green using Russian green and ultramarine blue. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks for watching. Bye.